Well, the weather for the whole of the south of England will continue as it has for the next few weeks. It's going to be hot and moist, with temperatures rising steadily as time goes on. There's a chance of steamy moments as we move into the... sod it. We never wanted to do this. We never wanted to be weathermen and women making innuendos about hot atmospheres and drizzly countries. We didn't want to be child-friendly. We didn't want to bang on about being for over 18s only. We want to talk about our sexy adventures. We want to be lifestylers, leaping from bush to bush as we sail down the rivers of British sex clubs and mountains of crazy experiences. The cheeky purple mamba, the liquid silk pumped liberally into our hand, the rodeo classic brief harness complete with Tantus curve, the Enjoy Pure One stainless steel dildo, the hot octopus digit, the ever so short messages on Fab Swingers, the sexy friends on Twitter, and the mighty vanilla alternative. With my best girlie by my side, we'd swing, swing, swing.
Get in the gym or to your car. With our advice, you could go far. We fuck things up and we make mistakes. And talk about our sexy dates. It's getting hard for this to rhyme. Just as well, 'cause it's bed hopping time.
Hello and welcome to episode 65 of the Bed Hoppers podcast. My name is Mr. H.
I'm Mrs. H.
She sat there laughing her ass off because this is the second take of recording this. She's got a microphone shoved pretty much into her mouth.
A new microphone.
Not a nude microphone. But we've got a whole new setup. And over the last week or so, we've been creating a bit of a podcast room. Mm-hmm. So we had a spare room in the house. We were very lucky on that sense of the word. So we put a table in it, added some mics and a whole new setup, part of which you got me for my birthday.
And you've got a fancy pink light going on today.
A fancy pink light?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm using one of my studio lights.
Oh my goodness. You're so professional.
It looks like a right cosy little environment in here.
You know, I can see this microphone out of the corner of my eye. It's really funny.
You should be able to see it right in front of you.
Well, I can. But I keep looking down and it's there in my field of vision wherever I look.
Well, that's the whole idea of it. It's that you talk into the microphone.
Yeah.
And we capture your beautiful sounding voice for all of our listeners.
Yes.
That's the plan.
Okay.
Hopefully that checks out. Mm-hmm. So if the quality isn't right, it just means that I haven't quite figured it out yet.
Or it means that I've just got a shit voice.
No, it doesn't mean that you've got a shit voice. There's preference, isn't it? People may not like the voice, but they should understand the quality in the recording of your voice.
I'll see how I feel about this.
Oh, good. About many things, I'm
It makes me feel like I can't move, but fine.
Really? You can't? Where were you going to go?
I don't know. What if I want to like flex or stretch or something?
Flex? What are you going to flex?
My amazing abs that will be revealed this year, I'm sure.
Okay.
I haven't seen them since 1997, but I reckon if I look really hard, they're there.
Okay. So
underneath the muffin top.
If we travel back to 97, I think the Phantom Menace was about to be released. There was some other quality stuff going on.
Maybe. Yeah. I think I maybe had abs then.
You had rock hard abs.
Yes. That's right.
I don't think either one of us has ever had abs.
Okay. Fine.
We may have been slimmer, but I don't think abs were ever on the menu. Anyway, thank you for downloading this and listening to us witter on for a bit, struggling around the words already. It's now a cold Sunday evening, so we thought we'd gather around the mics, talk a bit about what we've got coming up in 2020, do a little bit of a toy review.
Yes.
And also talk a little bit about New Year's Eve. So we'll start off with a bit of New Year's Eve.
Why don't you just like rip the plaster off and talk about Mrs. H being a wank puffin?
Well, you're more of a cockwomble than a wank puffin.
Well, the wank puffin just sounds friendlier.
Well,
like
a cheery little puffin that'll come over and give you a wank.
Like, you know, a wank puffin that doesn't really mean any harm.
Oh, really?
Has no malicious kind of malevolent...
No malicious intent?
No. There's no malevolence.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, we'll get to that.
An amiable wank puffin.
So a bit of a nitwit then.
I'm foreshadowing to soften the blow of this inevitable evisceration of me.
It's not an evisceration. I am just simply going to report on the events of New Year's Eve and portray you in the light that...
what?
Well, it's not going to be fake news, is it? Let's be fair.
Fine.
So we decided that we were going to go to a club for New Year's Eve.
Yes.
Go to a lifestyle club, and we've never done that on New Year's Eve before.
No.
So, because Mrs. H's dad was sort of in and out in hospital over the Christmas period, we felt that it was a better idea to go somewhere that was more local to us.
Yeah, a little bit closer in case we had to rush
to
on.
hoik it back, and so that we could be back fairly early in the morning if we needed to be. So we decided to go back to Abfabs, or Kestrels as it's sometimes known, and we'd stay in a hotel, and that we'd go there for the New Year's party and see what it was like. Because one of our biggest complaints when we went there the first time, other than our friends being too drunk, perhaps, was
oh, the irony.
I know the irony here, but it was very empty, wasn't it?
Yeah. You could have done a circuit of that club and only counted maybe 20 odd people.
So on our first night there, we kind of felt that it had potential, but it really depended on the people that were going, and also how busy it was, and it didn't feel like it was a busy place.
So our hope was, I think, on New Year's Eve, it should, in theory, have been packed to the rafters and a really good party vibe and loads of people. Yeah. All looking their best.
So we thought we'd chuck some investment towards it, because New Year's Eve parties are never cheap wherever you go. No. So it was a good £100 or so to go to the thing, plus the cost of a hotel, which leads me into the first moment of the
first wank puffin moment.
Yeah. So Abfabs is about an hour and 15 minutes away from us. About that. So I drove up there.
You did? I was there too.
You were there, but I drove.
Yeah, you did.
And we get into the hotel, and there's a hotel right next to Abfabs, as we've said before. It's a Premier Inn, I think.
Yeah, you mean the hotel, yes.
Yes. So we get into the hotel and go to check in, and they can't find our name. And then it transpires that there are two Premier Inns.
Who knew?
On the same road. This road is ginormous. It goes around Heathrow.
You should make that clear.
Well, it transpired that Mrs. H had booked the wrong hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Now, they said, oh, don't worry, it's only 5 minutes drive down the road, which it was. To be fair, it was only a couple of miles.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was about 3.5. You swear it was about 2.5. I haven't got the inclination to go and search it up. It was annoying, to say the least.
I agree it was an inconvenience. And because we didn't need that.
No, we didn't. But to be fair, the actual hotel, the one that we couldn't stay at, you could literally, fall over into Abfabs. It's so close.
So convenient.
And very, very convenient. So it's not only was it that we had to get there, but also that we had to get a taxi there and back. So it was going to be it's more costly evening than we anticipated.
Yeah.
So
lesson learned. I'll get you to book things in future. Well, that's my New Year's resolution, to get you to check the bookings.
Maybe. Well, I'd booked the tickets to the event.
Oh, and that was
without issue. So maybe there is a lesson to be learned. If you want something doing right, you better get a better assistant. I don't know.
You better not let your tired wife deal with it.
Tired wife.
Yes.
Okay, so we went to the other hotel.
Yeah, we did.
And they did indeed have a reservation for us, which boded quite well. And we went on to social media, and we were catching up with a few of our friends. The first thing of which they sent through, a number of people said this, was don't do a chundamuff to me. So I love the way that everyone's first thought was that I was going to immediately hit the bottle.
They were like, oh God, poor Mr. H, he's going to be livid. He better be careful not to repeat the chundamuff
incident. Fortunately, I did not do that.
No, you didn't.
No. So, but we did open a bottle of bubbly. We calmed down. We had some hateful sex.
Yeah, I mean, you literally looked like you hated me the whole way through.
Hate fucked you all the way through it.
There was a mirror in front of us, and I could see the hate etched on your face.
And your faith in your friends.
I mean, I thought it was your sex face, but
really,
I think it actually was your hate face.
I think it's because Jurassic Park was on television. I was trying to watch that at the same time. Clever girl.
I love that you've remembered that Jurassic Park was on.
It was very soothing to turn on the television and find that Jurassic Park was on. I mean, the sex was great and all.
Hateful, but
it wasn't really hateful. But we did joke about the fact that it was.
Yeah, we did.
A hate fuck. Mm-hmm. I mean, you didn't seem to hate it.
No, it felt like a pity fuck. It's all right, wife. I'll berate you later.
Berate you later. So, are you going to keep swallowing on this show, dear? Is this going to be your main?
You've put a cup of tea in front of me, and a microphone in front of me. At some point, the two things are going to meet.
Okay, so if you do hear swallowing, there's nothing sexy going on. It is literally...
It's a hate swallow.
Yeah. In fact, you're using a mug that was a gift from friends.
Oh, yeah, I am.
From some lifestyle friends. So if you gave Mrs. H a mug that says Mother of Dragons...
Yes.
Then, well done you.
Which
it's
is
being used.
a beautiful amalgamation of Pokemon and Game of Thrones.
There we go.
Beautiful.
I just have a shiny mug that says Marvel. Not that anyone asked. So we...
Back to the hate fuck.
Yeah, we had the hate fuck and got ready.
Yep.
And then we decided to catch an Uber because we didn't have a choice.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know.
I offered to drive.
Yeah, but... Yes.
Yes, I
you
did.
did offer to drive.
Thank you. I just want that committing to
You're not on record. Yeah,
now.
committed to. So you offered,
On this day, I did extend an olive branch and I offered to drive.
but if you were going to do that, you
was an
might as well have
empty
driven us home because,
But-
yeah.
Well, anyway.
Well, anyway, well, it was bang monkey.
Yeah.
Drunk all the time. Anyways, we caught an Uber
Yep.
using my Uber app, no less, as well.
Well, yeah, because yours is
Just to throw salt into And to be fair, it was only about 10 minutes away.
That's right.
So the guy got us there and that was fine. He seemed to know that it was some sort of naughty club. There was a few hints about the conversation on the way there, which was fine. And we got out and there were a couple of chaps waiting in tuxedos, waiting for people to turn up and come in. And I think we got there about 9:15.
Yeah, I would say it's a good time to arrive.
And it opened at, I think, about 8:30.
Yeah.
So, fashionably on time-ish for us.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, definitely working to Mrs. H time.
Gandalf time.
Yes, exactly. You arrive exactly when you mean to, or you don't arrive at all.
Well, there you go. You've spoken like a true wizard.
Exactly. So we were able to give them our tickets via my phone, which is cool.
Yeah.
So they were able to scan them, check us off the list. We gave them some money for the coats and lockers and all that kind of stuff. And we went in. And then we got lost.
Yes. In the plethora of lockers.
Yeah, so this place used to be a gym, sports facility, and it has proper swimming room style lockers. It does take me right back actually to being a kid, like going into like a swimming pool back in the 80s. Back in the day. And it's very much a whole plethora of. Well, there must be like a good few hundred of these lockers.
There are loads. They're like little rooms within rooms and then adjoining doors everywhere, and you just have no idea where you're going.
So we proceeded to not be able to find our way out of this for a good 10 minutes, which was quite amusing. So we did manage to get out, which was good, and we managed to get upstairs because downstairs is pretty much
It's all wet facilities.
wet facilities and a couple of playrooms. So we got upstairs. And it is a place where you can purchase alcohol, which is unusual.
Yeah, a small bar.
But they're pretty quick, broadly, and they're pretty reasonable in terms of cost. So our first step was to buy a bottle of drink. So we got some Prosecco, which is quite nice.
We did.
Screw top. I was a bit aghast at that.
Yeah.
Not sure what that was about.
No.
And then we looked around and it was still pretty fucking empty.
There were so many settees available. Which led me to think if you're not struggling to find a seat, then really how busy is it going to get?
Yeah, that was my thought, and I did the old RoboCop, crosshair look around the room, and there wasn't a great deal of people to be interested in playing with. I'm sure perfectly lovely people, but no one that really caught our eye in terms of the way they looked. So we grabbed a corner sofa and sat there and really started planning and chatting around what we're doing with the show, what we're going to be doing over the next year, because obviously we're in the frame of New Year's Eve, and I think Mrs. H is doing it to sate me and calm me down. She's like, let's talk about the show. You like that?
Calm the beast.
Soothe the beast. Be still, Mr. H. Be
You were
still.
okay by then anyway.
Yeah, we were fine. Yeah. And then a couple of couples came and sat down with us. And we started chatting to them and we told them about the show and gave them a couple of business cards and all that sort of stuff. And they were quite fun and quite nice to chat to.
Lovely people.
And they've been in touch since, which has been really nice. Yeah. But we looked around the whole place because did get a little bit busier.
Yeah, there were definitely, I don't know, maybe another 20 couples trickled in.
Yeah, but it still felt like the sofas were completely available. Like there was never a queue for any kind of playing facility. Not that we really looked.
It wasn't really a queue for the bar either,
No.
which is always worrying.
Yeah, well, I think it got to 3 deep at one point, but it's a little window that serves 2 people at a time. So for New Year's Eve, you'd expect a pretty big. I mean, they're efficient, but they're not that bloody efficient. So I kind of expected there to be a lot more people sort of queuing and being around at the facility. So it kind of time whizzed by really, and before we knew it was midnight, and we all got sort of ushered into
the dance floor area,
the school disco area, which had been playing some pretty dodgy tunes all night. And to be fair, that did feel quite busy. But then that was everyone from all around the club.
Yeah, all gathered
in one place. So they did the whole countdown, and we said Happy New Year to the people that we met. And we gave each other a lovely kiss, which was fantastic. Highlight of the night, clearly. and then we sort of dispersed back to walking around.
Yeah, everyone just kind of went away.
Yeah.
No one really sort of stayed and danced or did anything other than just kind of like petered off into their own little groups again.
Yeah, what we did find though in that hall, there weren't many people at all that we were interested in. Very nice people to chat to, but not so many people that we were keen on playing with.
No.
So it was all a bit of a weird vibe for the evening. And now someone did offer up a sacrificial bottle of Prosecco because they actually ran out.
Who runs out of Prosecco on New Year's Eve?
Well, there's not only who runs out, but I mean, where were these people fucking drinking it?
It's just insane.
I think it was just
one
us.
night of a year that you could have an unlimited supply of bubbly.
Yeah.
And they ran out.
And they ran out, which was, the way of the world really, wasn't it?
I mean, on the plus side, I got to have a lovely chat at the bar with this nice gentleman.
And then so we shortly met
Let me buy the last bottle.
Yes, well, he was very kind and very generous.
Yeah.
And then we met his wife and chatted to them for a short period of time. And then things start going a little bit astray, don't they?
Oh.
So what happened, Mrs. H?
Well, I think at this point I started not feeling great, but failed to communicate this to you. And in my own little way, I just took myself off to the bathrooms and kind of like stayed in there for a little while, like hoping to feel a bit better. But again, given that, you don't have phones in the club anyway, didn't really think about how I was going to let you know where I was.
Yeah.
And by this point as well, I'd had quite a few drinks. So all sense and sensibility probably went out the window.
So basically, she disappeared.
Did, yeah.
For about 45 minutes.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
All right, fine. I'm not going to argue about that.
And so I spent those 45 minutes not knowing where she'd gone, trying to find her.
Yeah.
I must have gone in every fucking room.
Every fucking room.
Yeah, literally. In that place, looking for Mrs. H. I even stuck my head around the toilets and yelled for her.
Yeah, I didn't hear you.
No, I know you didn't.
No.
Because I was getting more and more frantic as the evening was going on, because you just no trace of you existed. I even went back to the lockers and sent you a text in the hope it would get through to your watch.
No.
No, I know. No.
No.
I know, no. So eventually, one of the couples that we've been talking to said, "Oh, we found her. We've asked her to stay here so that you can find her," because they'd seen me just going around and around and around and around the whole place looking for you. And obviously I was really worried because I didn't know what was going on. You hadn't mentioned that you were ill. You hadn't even mentioned that you were going to the toilet. Had you decided to go somewhere to play? Had you just been
Oh my God.
ill? Well, you could have done.
That, no.
Well, you
no,
might.
no, that's true.
Yeah, so... And, of course, after a few drinks, then your mind does go to the weirdest places anyway. So I was really quite panicked about where you'd gone. Eventually, so I went to this place where they said that they'd managed to contain you. And it seems that you... Well, they couldn't, and you'd broken free of that. So there was a trail of breadcrumbs of another 3 or 4 couples.
Broken out of my Pokeball.
Yeah. So made a run for it. So I eventually found you, and... I think it's safe to say at this point that the drink had caught up with you a little bit.
Yeah, I was very tired.
And
it caught up with me quite a lot.
A little tired and a lot belligerent.
Yeah.
So we ended up sitting down and chatting. I'm using that term very loosely about where the fuck you'd been. And you still couldn't tell me you still wouldn't tell me that you'd been poorly or you didn't feel well. You were just like, well, I've just been here and there. And I'm like, well... Hang on, I know how fast Mrs. H moves around a building. It's not fast, trust me. she likes to sort of wander around aimlessly, and actually you can loop her 3 times in a supermarket without her even realising. So I knew that she'd gone somewhere, and you still didn't tell me that you'd gone to the bathroom. So I'm getting more and more annoyed about this. Anyway, we did sort of talk through it, and we eventually got to a space where I decided that it wasn't worth pursuing this in terms of any argument, because it was New Year's Eve. We'd gone there to have fun, and let's just figure this out later, since you seem to be completely in the thralls of not being able to tell me where you've been. So we sat down and chilled out and chatted to some other people for 5-10 minutes, and then we said, let's wander around the club.
Yes.
And I said, well, I've not had a wee yet because I spent all this time looking for you.
Yeah.
And with my tiny bladder in full flow, I said, hold my drink here, wait here, do not go. I shall be less than 3 minutes. Do not go.
Right.
I came back and you'd gone again.
Yes, I had.
And then I'm like, where the fuck has she gone? At this point, I still don't know that she's been ill, that she's not feeling well. I've gone around the place about another 3 or 4 times, and I'm
pretty fuming.
I'm pretty livid at this point, to be fair. And I know it's only, I know that you're a grown adult, a grown woman, and perfectly capable of taking care of herself.
Apparently so.
But I was just really worried because you were drunk, and and you were in this sort of belligerent frame of mind. I think you got to the point where you were, saying that you were sorry that you thought I needed an apology.
Not the drunken apology again.
Yes, you'd gone full that. So I did find you again eventually, just stumbling around, and again you were in that sort of frame of mind of not really wanting to explain where you'd gone. Though eventually we did find out that you hadn't been feeling great. So I was kind of, okay, fine. Why don't you just tell me? And then it's just so. While we were having that chat, then a couple did come over and say, "Hey, did you guys want to play? We really liked you. Well, we're heading down to this room now. Did you want to come along?" And then we spent an age talking about
some more time talking.
And then we eventually said, okay, well, let's go down and meet them and see them.
Yeah.
And by the time we got down there, they had finished playing and were
understandably.
Yes.
Because it was probably 3 days later.
Yes, it was. This is like
780
January
hours
the 8th.
later.
So we did go in the room with them.
Yes,
and they were quite new to the lifestyle. So we were sort of just chatting away about some of our experiences and things.
Bob took one look at me and were terrified.
Well, I think when I say we, it was mostly me, because you immediately crawled onto the bed that was in there and went to sleep with your arse in the air.
Can't comment on the arse being in the air. Have to take your word for that. But can concur. I was very tired.
Yes. So they were asking us some fairly good questions and some serious questions, and literally Mrs. H is snoring.
No. Yes. Well, I don't know about the snoring either, but again.
For the sake of the story, most definitely.
Fine.
I can't back any of that up, but you were sound asleep to the world, and then only when nudged did you just sort of go.
Yep. I have no defence, my lord.
No,
I
you were
definitely
defenceless.
Was extremely tired by this point.
Yes, I'm inclined to agree with
Defenceless.
you. Yes, defenceless.
Yes.
So we decided, and by we I mean I, that it was probably a good time to call it a night and catch our second Uber back to the hotel.
To that other hotel, which was not next door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got back to the hotel, and everything was fine. We were okay, except the fact that I was really, really pissed off with you at this point.
And not even could be sated by Jurassic Park or Hatefucks.
No, because Jurassic Park had finished long since gone.
And your level of hate had risen so much that you couldn't even muster up a hatefuck.
Well, I think it was just the fact that you were so sleepy. You were clearly really tired.
Yeah.
And then sort of couldn't really understand for some reason why I wanted to go to sleep and reset the day.
That will be the booze.
Yes, that will be the drink. So, in a nutshell, that was our New Year's Eve experience. So, I think there's a few takeouts that I'm.
Wow, isn't it your own theme tune that says we fuck things up, we make mistakes?
It is my own.
Are you going to change the theme tune now to Mrs. H fucks things up?
Well, no, because it's always been we fuck things up and make mistakes, and I think in this case, this was definitely not on the same team.
No.
it was a tricky one because I think we were we had so much going on over Christmas that I think we wanted to let our hair down. So I think we were doubly as frustrated when it came to not being able to do that.
Yeah.
And in reflection, the hotel thing was a pain in the butt, but I think you just threw yourself into drinking and it just didn't end well on this occasion. And sometimes that's the risk of it.
I was channeling a Chandamuff.
Yeah. And it's not like I've ever been caught being drunk and foolish and an idiot at
We've
all.
all been there, I know.
Exactly.
But this time it was me.
Yeah. I think in terms of the New Year's thing, I mean, I like the idea of the New Year party. I think we really probably should have gone to vanilla alternative. Because we found out after we'd booked this particular one that friends were at VA, and though it's further away, I think we'd have probably had a much better time. It's a much nicer club. And I think Abfabs really sealed the deal for me on not really wanting to go back unless we are meeting people specifically there, because otherwise I've got no reason to go there.
I would agree.
I know it's the biggest sort of local club, but...
I mean, taking out the, tired, drunk and belligerent Mrs. H factor.
Someone should have taken her out.
But taking that out, I still don't think it was enough of a good club experience to go back there again, even if you take that away.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think even for, if it's quiet on a New Year's Eve or feels quiet, then clearly the club is too big, and it could be doing with, if it was half the size, it would be better just to encourage that level of interaction, putting everyone in the same area so you can see who's around, who you'd like to talk to, all of that sort of stuff. And that probably would have helped it quite a lot. So
I would agree.
So Abfabs, don't want to go back.
No.
Especially now that you've tainted the memory of it.
Oh, God.
Although you probably tainted the toilets there.
Bring my taint into it.
And in terms of New Year's parties, I think I like the idea. It was really nice. What was really nice, actually, was everyone was really dressed up and made an effort to look their best. But ultimately, I think that just lots of the people that weren't for us. So I'd much rather do a New Year's thing with friends and make sure that you've got people that you've already got connections with.
Yeah, I think it would be nice to have maybe 6 to 10 of you kind of, like-minded.
Well, it'd be nice to have 100 of you that you're all like-minded and connected people. I mean, that would be fantastic. But the more the merrier that you know and have those connections with. And I think, this is why we're looking now.
I was going to say, let's start planning now.
Well, to be fair, we have been talking over the last month or so about arranging our own socials and seeing if we can do that locally in the south of England. So I think we're thinking about how we go about doing that. We're just waiting for the right time and the right moment to get behind that and start the ball rolling.
In the right place.
And the right place, yeah. So we've done some research. We've thought about a few venues, few venues.
Yeah.
But we haven't found the right one yet. So once we've got that, I think we'll lock that down and we'll start talking a bit more about it and get something in the calendar properly.
Keep me on the Ribena that night.
Well, we want you to be entertaining, dear. And I mean, not to say that you're a ball just on Ribena, but at the same point, we don't want you belligerently yelling at people.
No.
That's
I'll try not to.
Not the best social situation. So, instead, why do you have your finger in your ear?
I don't have my finger in my ear.
Oh, it looks like you've got your finger in your ear.
No, I have my hand tucked under my cheek.
No, it just looked like you were putting your finger in your ear. It's very strange.
So I can't hear you hurling abuse at me anymore.
I'm not hurling abuse at you. I love you dearly, as I confirmed in our last couple of shows, but it was difficult because you weren't helping yourself. Yes, because you were difficult. And like I said, it's not like I've not been in that situation before, or indeed you've not been in that situation before. So I think we just need to be careful on the drinking front again for a while.
Yes, absolutely.
That would be a good shout. So, right, what are we doing? So socials. We're going to have a look at that and see what's going to happen. We're going to have a look at a few more venues and try and lock that in. But as soon as we can do that, then we'll let everyone know on fabswingers.com and on Twitter.
Nice.
We're going to do that. And now we've got a little toy review.
Oh, yes, we do.
Dildos and strap-ons with sex toys in latex. All kinds of lube that is giving us great sex. Fingers in pussies are making me cringe. These are a few of our favourite things.
So, okay, we're going to talk a little bit about a Christmas present I had.
Ooh.
I know. So I had a very exciting Christmas present for Mr. H.
Was it socks?
Did you get me socks?
No.
No, you didn't. No, it wasn't socks then.
I think I got you socks for your birthday.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I got you shoes.
Yes, you did. And they were amazing.
Yeah.
They were fantastic.
And
Majestic.
a dress.
Yes,
That
absolutely.
goes inside out.
Yes.
Something. I don't
with
know.
zombies on it.
Yes.
However, we are not talking about the zombie dress or the magnificent shoes. We are talking about the Womanizer Duo.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, going back a little while, we talked briefly, I think, about the original Womanizer toy that I already own.
Yep.
Which is a very basic original version with no sort of fancy attachments or anything.
Fancy attachments.
It's just the original one, I think.
In my head, it's got like Inspector Gadget things coming out the top. Like, go, Gadget, fancy attachments.
Oh, wait, it has the Russell Brand attachment? Excellent.
You'd never stop using the bloody thing.
Oh, I know. No, so the Womanizer is essentially a clitoral stimulator, and it looks a little bit like an ear thermometer.
Yep.
So it's got a funny little nozzle
like a
on the front.
sucking device, isn't it?
Yes. Thank you for the sound effects.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make that noise.
Does.
But it would be funny if it did.
It does. It's like...
So this is a vastly upgraded model, and it's called the Womanizer Duo, and it's much bigger.
Okay, why is it much bigger though?
So it's bigger because it has an internal element to it as well. So it has a G-spot
warming
simulator. A G-spot stimulator.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So it goes inside you, and also there is the external device.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what sort of shape would you say it is?
Well, it still has a bit of an ear thermometer look about the
Okay.
nozzle bit, because I think that's its kind of USP in
Okay,
terms of its
yeah.
little sucking motion.
I think lots of other people have copied them now. There's kind of, I don't think it was ever trademarked or whatever. There seems to be a million of those things.
Oh,
I think
really?
It's like a Satisfier and...
The Satisfier.
Yes. The Satisfier. It's like an X Factor name, isn't it?
A little bit. But it, as I said, it also has the curvature with the little bit that goes inside you.
Okay, so it's kind of got like a vibrating G-spot stimulator
Yes.
on one side and the clit sucker on the other. Clit sucker, clit sucker, clit sucker, clit sucker.
That's a terrible name.
Yeah, but that's what it is, really, though, isn't it?
Yeah, if you distill it down, that is exactly what it is.
If we distill it
Yes, it really is just that.
down. Yeah. Okay.
It's pretty nice looking. It's a sort of dark purpley maroon colour.
There are a variety of colours.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
really?
I believe there was black and like this sort of purpley, mauvey, whatever it is, colour.
you didn't have a clue.
No, and there was another colour.
Excellent.
Might have been red. I don't know.
Might have been.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this one is like a maroon colour.
Yes.
Yeah, it's quite nice looking.
Mhm.
It's quiet as well.
There's a couple of things that I think you need to mention.
Yes.
Okay.
All right then.
So one, it comes in a beautiful little bag, a little drawstring bag that has lots of little
It's got
goldy,
little gold dangly things on it.
gold dangly
Oh,
things.
it's beautiful.
Yes, Lieutenant Dangly things. So there's some of that on there. So it's packaged really nicely and it is presented really well.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is that it only works if you put it next to your skin.
Yeah, see, that confused me a little bit at first because obviously you're like pressing all the buttons and nothing really happens. But then as soon as you make contact with skin, off it goes.
Yeah.
And then when you take it away from the skin, it stops.
Yeah. I think that's
So,
the
yeah.
general thing.
That's really clever. It's some motion-inspired technology.
Motion inspired.
Yes, I just made that up.
Okay. Good.
It sounded really professional.
All right then. Well, then let's run with that. So with this motion inspired technology and
Yes.
clit sucking action, so we've given it a go, right?
Yeah, we have given it a go.
We have.
So again, my one criticism I think of the original, and this probably does extend again to this one as well, despite its fancy upgrade, is you have to really get it in the right place for it to do its thing. which
But
can take a
equally,
little
the same
bit
could be said of a finger or any other toy.
I know.
Well, it's not like a wand, which is like
Right.
like bombing the place.
Exactly.
It's
So
like
you're not just
napalming it.
like, it's not just putting something on a surface.
No.
It's because it has a very specific little nozzly attachment thing, which is designed to fit very
A
closely.
hood for your hood.
A little nozzle that fits over Satan's doorbell. All right.
Okay.
So, and it takes a little while sometimes to get that into the right place.
Okay.
And then once it's there, it's off.
And what about the inside bit? What's that like?
So it was nice,
It
fine.
was nice.
I'll be honest, I'm not sure I could really tell what was going on the internal a little bit, because
Is that because you can't focus on more than one thing at once?
Oh, screw you. Yes, perhaps. Squirrel. I think it's because there's quite a lot going on with the external focus for me. So I kind of lost sight a little bit of what was happening with the other bit.
Yeah.
But the two things together, great. No, really, really great.
Really, really great.
Yeah, but I couldn't tell you if the internal bit actually did anything specific other
Okay.
than just was there with a rumbling presence.
Have a rumbling presence.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you use this with by yourself, with partners? What's the...
So it has to, I personally think it's a very much a solo toy
Mhm.
because it requires your own kind of hand to get the positioning right.
Yeah.
However, that said, it's fun to watch, maybe.
Yeah. So,
A willing participant.
well, it could be useful in a if you're just not quite getting there or someone's not quite got the action
Yeah.
right, that you could use it to just get yourself over that final hurdle. And you know, we've used a womanizer in that situation before, certainly in a play situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that would be my take. It's like a really good solo play toy if you want to get off quickly, which often you don't. It was too quick. What was that all about?
Well, there is that as well. It's just literally like bang, done.
Clip bang.
Clip bang. Yeah.
Clip bang, done. But I also think that it could be useful in sort of a play situation.
Yeah.
I think if you come more than once, then actually it's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
And you can do that, but you do need a little bit of time in between each coming. She says, not so keen on that. I'm like, maybe I'll come once and I'll be done. Sounds like a lot of effort to do more than once.
Yeah, it does. It's fine. But in terms of the actual product itself, I think it's really, really good.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So that was a toy review. Anything else? Oh, how many out of 5 would you give it?
Out of 5?
Out of 5.
Oh. I give it a strong 4.
Strong 4.
Yeah.
So
Because
4 fingers out of 5.
Because it does.
It's a strong fingering position.
Do what it says on my tin.
It does.
Much.
Well, it womanizes.
Womanizes. It womanizes the shit out of
It
you.
womanizes in duos.
I kind of want it to play Britney Spears as it's going along.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, like,
Isn't that the song by Britney Spears, Womanizer?
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just referring to the joke that I made the last time we talked about
did
it.
you?
Yes.
It must have been a great joke.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to just explain it now because it feels superfluous. Go back and listen to that one and revel in my mirth
do
and
that.
merriment, because I'm reliving the moment right now and I'm loving it. It was the perfect joke, slipped in at the right moment to entice you into laughter and fun.
Wonderful.
Yeah, very good, right?
Yeah. Did you like the toy?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. You're right. It is a little bit of it's got to go in the right place. I can participate by holding it in the right place, or that's it, really. I mean, I can obviously focus on other areas of your body, but it covers a bit of real estate.
Yeah. No,
So,
you're right.
the original one that you've got, I can actually slip a finger inside. Bit of finger banging for you, dear. I know that you're keen on that. Or I could go down on you at the same time. So that there were more options. Whereas this, I think, takes up quite a lot more space, and as a result, it is a little bit more solitary. But I think actually it seemed to do the job even better than the last one. So
Yeah, I would agree with that.
as a tool to get you off, I can't fault it.
No. Good
No.
stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So
Nice.
4 fingers out of 5
Yeah.
for the womanizer. I can't remember what our last rating system was.
I don't know. I'm sure if it was 10, but
I'm sure it was like an arbitrary 7 or something
yeah,
like that.
we're in digital age now. We're just
23.
going to
Out
bring
of 23,
it
what would you give it? In a fight between the womanizer duo and the wand, who would win?
Wow, that's some
Sex
fight.
Toy Fight Club. That's our next feature. It's not really. That would involve a song that's far too complicated.
It does sound a bit complicated.
Yes, it does, and it always has to involve a song. So, in terms of, we've talked about New Year, we talked about toys, we talked a bit about the social stuff. In terms of what else have we got coming up, we've been talking a lot about what we're doing with the show, how it's going to work in the future, what we want to get out of it, and actually, what do we want to do for the community? Because we're really keen on making a difference for the community, especially in the UK, which is one of the reasons why we started this show. So, not that there's plans that we can share just yet, but there will be some more stuff coming from us that we're quite excited to tell you about and share with you. But it's just not, this is an awful tease, isn't it?
I'm half expecting to say you're going to take things in a new direction.
New direction. Yes, well, we're not going to take things in a particular new direction. I think for me, there are a couple of elements that I think we can make a bit of a difference. And I think our first primary thing that we always want to be doing is having fun, and we want to be having fun recording this and sharing these adventures with you. So that's not going to stop. But we also want to do more things for the community. We want to help new people and nude people.
And raise awareness.
And raise awareness, yes.
Things that maybe people don't talk about enough.
Yeah.
Or don't know how to broach subjects, or don't know how to get started with any, talking about these things. So, yeah.
But the other thing that we want to do is we don't really want to set up a paid-for course or a means of making money from this. We want to do this because we want to do it for the community.
Yeah.
And we like the fame and the fortune and the glory that comes with it, of course. But we are looking at a number of things that are going to be coming our way in the next few months. And hopefully we'll be able to share some of them with you really, really soon.
Cool.
So there's that. There was a strange tease, and I was able to tell you that we're thinking about stuff, but not tell you what that stuff is. So, keep that in mind.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
We've got a trip to Nottingham.
Finally.
We are going to the Nottingham Social.
At last.
Now, we've
Unless
tried
some other awful thing befalls us and it stops us.
Yeah, it's
cursed.
It
really
is cursed. It is. Well, that thing isn't cursed, but our ability to get there is cursed. So we are going to try and drag our asses up there.
Yeah, it's like,
and do that.
lucky now.
Yeah, I think so. But we're really looking forward to that.
Definitely.
Which will be really cool. We've got a sexy visitor coming to stay.
Oh, yes.
Next. No. But then when this comes out, it will be, she'll have already, did I say she?
Oh my God.
Oh dear. I'm revealing things as I go.
You really are.
Yeah, I know. So she'll be coming to stay
Your
yesterday.
mouth is running away with you.
Isn't it always? Hopefully.
Well, since this is in the future, how was that?
It's fucking amazing.
Was it? Was it really good?
That was the best sex I've ever given anyone.
In the future.
Yes, in the future. I can't back any of that up, but she most certainly could.
Brilliant. I'm looking forward to the future sex.
Yeah, me too. What else we got? We got potentially an interview coming up.
Yes.
We got a crossover episode, but we can't reveal with whom.
You are literally just teasing people today.
Oh,
you're
yes.
nearly revealing exciting things, and then at the last minute you're pulling out.
Well, I know it's a terrible thing, isn't it? And it is such a tease. The reason why is because some of these things we don't know whether they'll pan out because life keeps fucking changing.
Yes, it really does.
And what I don't want to do is go, hey, this is what we're going to be doing, and then for it to not happen, because
Right.
that's worse. What I'd rather do is tease you with it, and then you conveniently forget about it, and then you go, what was that big thing you were teasing us over? And I'll be like, oh yeah, that was that other thing we did. It was this. And you'll be like, oh right, that's much less grand than what I thought it was going to be. But I'll be like,
Isn't it always?
yeah, I know, right? So it's just my means of not giving away any information at the moment.
Rest assured, it'll be amazing.
I think what it is that I'm excited about all of these things. I'm really excited about the crossover episode, and because I think that's going to be tackling some particularly difficult subjects.
Definitely.
And I really want to speak to our guests about their perspective on how they've navigated some of that stuff, and I also want to obviously catch up with our new friend.
Yes.
And the other stuff,
with the future sex.
yeah, with the future sex, and the other stuff could be really exciting, and the way that we're thinking about looking at this show and looking what we do and looking how it all comes together and what does it mean to be a bed hopper, all that stuff could be really, really exciting for 2020.
I think it will be really exciting. It's, as we say, it's very difficult to kind of come out and commit to something that isn't quite set in stone yet. So, yeah, rather than overpromising,
we're just going to underdeliver. I mean, basically,
the whole
that's
year is going to be underwhelming.
Yes, this is going to be the year of stuff that was supposed to happen but didn't. So, on that note, yes. Do you want to close the show, dear?
Into the new year, the first one of the new year.
The first one of the new year.
Yeah.
Well, unless you listen to an old one this year.
Yeah, in which case you'd be really confused now.
Yeah, and in which case, please keep up. Come on, we're producing like 2 of these things a month, maybe even 3, sometimes even 4.
We just haven't got a clue.
Yeah, I know. But we did get a really, really, really nice review on iTunes. So
that was lovely.
if you'd like to leave us a review on iTunes on the podcasting thing, please do. We'd really like it.
It makes us all warm and fuzzy inside when we read them.
It does.
Unless they're mean and horrid, in which case I don't feel so fuzzy.
No. You still feel pretty warm.
Yeah, with hate.
Yes.
That's not true.
Lots of hate in this episode.
I know, right?
All your hate, strike me down now, blah, 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 blah.
So please send us a review. But if you'd like to get in touch as well, that's cool. We love getting emails in particular. They're really nice. Twitter's nice as well. We've had some nice Twitter messages lately. So just really get in touch with us.
Yeah,
So,
just any way you like.
It's bedhopperssuck@gmail.com.
We still suck. Even in the new year.
Even in the Bedhoppers Suck on Twitter, Bedhoppers on Fab, iTunes. The podcast is actually called, if you didn't know this, though I imagine you would do, it's called Bedhoppers.
Right.
Swinging in the UK.
Brilliant.
Did you know that?
No suck.
No, there's no suck in it.
Ah.
Well, I mean, we put the suck in it.
We put the suck in.
Yeah, we suck the joy out of the life of the podcast. So please get in touch. Please leave us a review. We'd really love that. Mrs. H, do your thing.
Well, thank you for hopping into our bed.
Well, you're looking at me like I'm gonna push a button or something, and don't hide away from the mic.
No, there are lots of buttons I do want to push.
Which buttons do you want me to push for you?
I really like that purple one.
The purple one.
I don't know what
one?
it does.
This one.
Yes.
That one. Shall I push this button and
Is it
see
going
what
to make
happens?
some ridiculous noise?
It is going to make some ridiculous noise, although we won't hear it.
Oh, okay.
I can push it. Do you want to put the headphones on and I'll push it?
Ah, cool.
Here we go. This
Yeah,
is all, we're recording all this live, so this will be fun. So this is the new system. I'm going to push the purple button. Ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Oh, it's like birds. Is it birds?
No.
No.
I can't hear it. You've got the headphones on.
I think it's chirping like birds.
Is it crickets?
Oh shit! Is it crickets?
Like,
yeah,
like a really bad joke.
I think it might be crickets.
Like, a horse walks into a bar, barman says, "Why the long face?" and then you hit that.
Do you know what? It sounds like a pram wheel or something.
Okay.
But I think maybe no.
Are there any other buttons you want me to push?
Yes, could you push the orange one, please?
Fucking hell! This was supposed to be a sexy thing that I was aiming at Mrs. H.
Push the button.
Push the button.
Push
the
the
orange
button.
one. This
yes,
one.
the orange one. All right, that's basically people laughing at your joke.
Really, this is amazing. Phenomenal cosmic power in an itty bitty loop in space.
I didn't like the orange one as much.
Did you not?
No, it was laughing at your joke.
People loved it. And let's just fade them out. Brilliant. So there we go. That's the new thing that we've got. So you got me to push some buttons, and you got to wear some headphones.
Yay!
We shouldn't be giving you so much power. It's not good or healthy.
Trusted.
No, I know. Anyway, thanks.